For my video blog, I'm going to talk about the 2021 Masters, which happened earlier in April. Some of the storylines coming into the Masters, first of all, was COVID. The 2020 Masters, which was supposed to play traditionally in April, was moved to November, where Dustin Johnson blazed the field and set an all-time tournament scoring record at 20 under par. Going into this year's April tournament, some storylines, at least looking at players, the biggest was Jordan Spieth. Jordan Spieth was someone who had won 3 majors and 11 PGA Tour events by the time he was 24 years old. His last win came at the 2017 British Open, and after that he had struggled. He hadn't won a tournament, seemingly lost his game for a while, seemed completely lost during the 2020 season. But come 2021, he was able to rebound, had a few top 5 finishes, and ended up winning the Valero Texas Open the week before the Masters. And knowing his track record at the Masters, finishing second in 2014, winning in 2015, second in 2016, third in 2018, he was one of the betting favorites alongside Justin Thomas going into the tournament. And in the first round storyline for sure was the conditions. Augusta is a course with notoriously fast greens, but they were especially fast and firm on Thursday. So players could not be aggressive to the flag. They had to play close. They had to play farther away from the flag, resulting in longer putts. Because if they try to be more aggressive, it could potentially go over the green, take slopes, because Augusta greens are famous for their slopes and undulations. On Thursday, Jordan Spieth shot a 1 under par 7 71. He had a triple bogey at number 9, but he was able to come back with some birdies and finish with a chip and eagle on 15, was getting him at 1 under par. Justin Rose was the story of the first round, shooting a 7 under par 65, and he had a 4-shot lead over Brian Harman and Hideki Matsuyama. On Friday, the second round, Justin Rose shot an even par 72 to remain at 7 under and ended up having a 1-shot lead going into Saturday over Brian Harman and Will Zalatoris. Will Zalatoris, a relative unknown, had been playing extremely well, including a tied for 6th finish at the U.S. Open a few months ago. Jordan Spieth shot a 4 under par 68 to get to 5 under and only 2 shots back, while big names such as Justin Thomas and Tony Finau had low rounds. Thomas with a 67, Finau with a 66 to get to 3 back, and Matsuyama shot a 1 under par 71 to be 3 back. And the third round was extremely eventful, and it was full of hype, with players like Spieth and Justin Thomas and Justin Rose being at the top of the leaderboard. Justin Rose birdied his first 2 holes, and it seemed like he would take total control of the tournament, but ended up playing his last 16 holes 2 over and shot an even par 72, his second straight round of 72. Jordan Spieth birdied number 2, but ended up bogeying 4 and double bogeying 7, and going to 8, a par 5 that he should birdie. He hit it way left into the trees, hit his second shot still into the trees, so it seemed like he could make a gargantuan number, but he was able to get up and down with a miraculous third shot on number 8 out of the trees to 3 feet birdied. He ended up shooting an even par 72 to be at 5 under par. Hideki Matsuyama was the big story of the third round, and that was due in large part to the weather. When he was on number 11, he was 1 under through 10 and 2 shots back when heavy rains hit Augusta, and there was a 77-minute-long weather delay. And those heavy rains caused the green to soften up, caused players to be more aggressive towards the flags because they knew it wouldn't move away from the hole. And Hideki Matsuyama is one of the best iron players on tour. He's traditionally not known as a great putter, but he's one of the best iron players on tour. So he went dead aim at flag sticks, and it paid off. He was 6 under on his last 7 holes, ended up shooting a 7 under par 65. So going into Saturday, he was 3 back. Going into Sunday, he was 4 ahead of Justin Rose, Mark Leishman, Xander Schauffele, and Will Zalatoris. And in the final round, Hideki Matsuyama cruised. Jordan Spieth shot a 2 under par 70, finished tied for 3rd, his 5th top 5 finish in 8 career Masters appearances. Hideki Matsuyama cruised for the most part until he got to 15, a par 5 with water short of the green. He hit his approach shot, his second shot into 15, into the water, and ultimately bogeyed while Xander Schauffele birdied. So all of a sudden, Schauffele was 2 shots back of Matsuyama, going into 16, a par 3 by water, where players such as Greg Norman has imploded in the past. But ended up being Xander Schauffele who imploded, hitting his tee shot into the water on 16, ended up triple bogeying the hole, seemingly giving the green jacket to Hideki Matsuyama, who won by a shot over Will Zalatoris. I think that this year's Masters was very captivating. It gave Japan their very first male major champion in Hideki Matsuyama, a player who had sort of been on the cusp of greatness for a while, got up to number 2 in the world in 2017, was in the final pairing of the 2017 PGA Championship at Quail Hollow that was ultimately won by Justin Thomas. He was also in contention at the 2017 U.S. Open and won multiple times in 2017 worldwide, but like Jordan Spieth, had not won since 2017, nearly 4 years. I think with players like Spieth and Thomas fading for the most part, while Spieth finished tied for third, he really wasn't in contention ever on Sunday. He was 6 back going into the final round, so he didn't have much of a chance. I think if those two players were able to keep pace of Matsuyama, it would have been a lot more exciting. But still, I thought it was a very good Masters with Hideki Matsuyama being a very deserving champion.